Ricky Smiley in the morning, the real sound of the D of Dove, Magic 94.5. I'm Queen Indy B. It is Health is Wealth Wednesday, back by popular demand. I have Dr. Cheyenne Bryant in the studio, psychologist, celebrity life coach, author, TV personality, and just has a no-nonsense approach, and we love you for it. How you doing today?
Listen, I'm doing amazing. You know, I shoot from the hip.
Yes, you do.
From the hip, but it's always wrapped in love.
Absolutely.
So before the bullet hits, it's wrapped in love. But you know, the truth will set you free, and oftentimes the truth hurts you first, and that's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. The last time you were here, big response, because you your approach is you're helping people heal, and you're transforming lives. And the last interview you did, it touched a lot of people, clearly, in the Metroplex. I got a huge response. So I'm glad you're back, and you are here with a new book.
I am.
And what is the book called?
My book, Live Your Promise. Y'all, listen, y'all made Mental Detox my first book that I released last year, a best-selling book. So I know we could do it this time. This book is next level for Mental Detox. I have it in a structure in three parts in your three-part house, which is how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. And so I'm giving you tips and tools after every chapter. I'm giving you a toolkit on how to do the principles. I'm giving you, a lot of books, a lot of folks will tell you what to do. They don't tell you how to do it. They don't walk you through. This is exactly what you do with the tools I gave you, because knowledge is not power. The implementation of knowledge is power.
Yes,
and we start to have to implement these things. Otherwise, we don't get results without putting the hammer to the nail and building out the house.
Absolutely. Now, one of your core themes in this book is the wilderness season. Can you explain that?
Yes, girl. So the book is, I use the Moses journey, right? When Moses goes and he frees the Israelites from Egypt, and they go through 40 years of the wilderness. And that's because of their lack of belief and their lack of gratitude when God got them across the Red Sea. And instead of getting across the Red Sea and pretty much saying, thank you, we're a believer now, because he didn't open up a Red Sea and let us walk across on dry land. Walking across on dry land means that when you get there, there's no residue on your feet from what you just walked from.
Right.
Okay, then he closes up the Red Sea on the Egyptians who had them in captivity, who were coming to bring them back to captivity. So he does all this, and y'all still get over there and don't believe. So God says, okay, no problem. I see what you do believe in, though. You believe in hardship. You believe in wilderness type of environments because you have a wilderness mindset. So I will keep you where you want to be because God's a gentleman. It's your free will or it's going to be his. And so he willed them their mindset. He willed them their capacity. He blessed them at the level of their belief. They said, we want water and manna. God said, well, I'll give you water, I'll give you manna, and I'll give you your wilderness mindset. Had them in the wilderness for 40 years. Okay, and so I talk about that. The wilderness is a place where you are to take inventory on your healing that needs to be done, on your lack of awareness, maybe your lack of self-love, and the things that you see are needed or have not been implemented for you to heal to get to what is your promised land. And that takes obedience, and it takes self-awareness, and it takes principles that you have to do in the wilderness. Now, the wilderness is a place where the tools you need there are different than the promised land, because in the wilderness, you have the bears, you have the lions, you just have water and manna. But you have what is a reflection of your belief system. So wilderness is not a landing place. It is a mental place. Where is your mentality? What is your mindset? We are manifesting our mindset every single second. We are living in our thoughts.
Yes.
As a man thinketh,
yes, we are.
So is he. Whatever you thinking is what you are. God showed that in that Moses journey. Then when Moses got to the promised land, because God keeps his promises, God told Moses to speak to the rock. And not hit the rock the second time. Well, Moses hit the rock. And the reason why Moses hit the rock, a lot of people, even preachers, don't talk about this part is because the first time that Moses asked God for water from the rock, God told him to strike it.
Right.
He told him to strike it. So the second time he asked for water from the rock, God said, this time, I want you to speak to it. See, Moses not listening like a lot of us do on our healing journey. Okay, but we gaslight God. But see, it's you not listening. Ain't God not delivering the message or the tools or the steps. He said, speak to the rock. Well, Moses did what? He hit it. Because in his mind, he thought, well, the first time I hit it, what happened? Water came out. Same rock, same circumstance, different season, baby.
Different
season, baby. God needs you to do different things in different. I don't care if you're in the same house. Something different needs to be done. If you are plowing the same garden, something different needs to be done. I have a huge garden at home. Every season, them fruits need a whole different thing.
Yes, they do.
More water, less water, something dry, something different.
Yes.
And every season they bloom differently. I have 2 cherry trees. Last season they blossomed like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This season I was fussing at the tree and my mom saying, "We ain't got that many cherries."
Mm-hmm.
My mom said to me, "Well, baby, we have to see if the weather is different this
Mm-hmm.
year. What type of season is it for them?"
Mm-hmm.
Every year they blossom around a different time. Same season, but
Mm-hmm.
different time. So we have to figure out what it needs.
Require different things.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my book, I tell you all, how do you know I tell you how you know you're in your wilderness, how to be in it, because it don't matter if you want to get out. You can't get out until you apply certain tools, you get to a certain level of awareness, and God knows you could be obedient and disciplined enough to be in a promised land, because the promised land takes people who know how to believe. It's the big dog believers in the promised land, because Moses didn't make it in because he was disobedient. But watch this. Caleb and Joshua and the offsprings of those Israelites made it in the promised land because they believed.
Mm-hmm.
They seen giants and called them grasshoppers.
Mm.
Somebody in there said, "No, we're the grasshoppers." No, Joseph and Joshua and Caleb said, "No. They the grasshoppers."
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the level of belief.
Right.
Just like I talk about David looked at a Goliath and said, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine?"
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say, "Who's this big? Oh my God, he's no." He said, "Oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, you know who I am? I'm
Exactly.
David with a slingshot. What a slingshot. Not a pistol, not a bomb. I'm David with a slingshot." David thought big of himself.
Mm-hmm.
So did Caleb and Joshua think big of themselves. And they looked at the giants as grasshoppers. How are you looking at things?
How are you looking at
How are
things?
you perceiving that at which you are and where you are in your life? Are you in a wilderness in your mind
Mm-hmm.
because you have yourself in it, but you can
Mhm.
easily be in a promised land if you just shift your perception?
Mm-hmm.
I talk about all that in the book. And I'm so passionate about it because I know for sure that we create the environment in space with our mind at how much joy, how much abundance that we can experience is all based on our level to believe in it. God says, call a thing as though that's not as though it is. It's telling you that he doesn't need you to have vision. He needs you to have sight.
Mhm.
Two different things.
Two different things.
Two different things.
How much do you think our thoughts control our actions?
Oh, I love that because in my book, in the 3 parts that is broken into, which is your 3-part house, the first part is how you think. Because your thoughts, the Bible says it, as a man thinketh, so are you. And it tells you in Scripture, think only on the thoughts that are prosperous, that are positive, and that are praiseworthy. If you wouldn't pray for it, then why are you thinking it? God tells you that.
Absolutely.
He tells you that. So your thoughts, as you think, not as you feel, as a man thinketh, so is he. That means that whatever you are thinking is exactly what will consume you.
Exactly.
And the
what's
consuming you is your thoughts turning into the emotions.
Mhm.
Because it's not until we start feeling stuff do we start to be consumed with what we are feeling.
Mhm.
If we can check it at the thought level, it won't turn into an emotion or feeling. And then it can't consume us. This is why the thoughts is a level that we check. And it says we serve the Lord with what? Our mind,
Mhm.
with what we think.
Mhm.
And if God is closer than our breath is life. Life is us. That means that God is us.
Mhm.
So when we're serving God with our mind, we're also serving ourselves.
Absolutely.
You can't be attached from God.
Mhm.
We're a thumbprint of him. He says, if you make your bed in hell, there I am.
Mhm.
He's telling you, I'm omnipresent. I'm everywhere. I'm the big God, not the little.
Not the little
Not
one.
the little one.
You know what? And that's what I can appreciate about you so much. I know there are plenty of psychologists that have a way of communicating with people about, their thoughts and how your thoughts control what you do and get into that space where you're healed and transformed. But I appreciate how you incorporate faith into your
Yes.
strategies. And I think that's so important, so
Yeah.
important. And I know you say some things that are considered controversial.
Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time. All the time. I am
So,
a disruptor all the time.
What is one of the controversial things that you say that you really want to clarify to people and say, I'm not trying to be controversial, but this is
Well-
what is one of the things that people bring to you that they that you have to
So
clarify?
I am definitely trying to be controversial. I am definitely trying to be disruptor. I am definitely trying to disrupt the dysfunctional pathologies that are within our community and our culture. So when I am pissing people off, I am okay with that. I don't intentionally say, hey, I'm going to say this so I can, upset this group of people. But I already understand that the wolves in sheep clothing are going to be exposed by what I'm saying.
Well, what is one of the hardest things that people have
To receive?
to receive?
That a man with multiple kids, with multiple women, and he has yet to marry any of them or make a family out of any of them, is a womanizer, and he has narcissistic characteristics. That is what people, mostly men, not us women, have a hard time receiving. And it is always the men who are exactly that womanizing or narcissistic person who says, well, that don't mean nothing, but what if I had these kids by these women and it just didn't work and I stayed for a month or two? It doesn't matter, Negro. You made a bad decision and you are causing a broken home and a broken family. I'm not glorifying it. I'm not okay with it. And I'm going to stand on my square, my mountaintop about it. I will double down on it and I will say it again as many times as you need to hear it. That is a decision that you're making that's creating cracks and crevices in our homes. You have black men who can have sex with women, but they hate women because of your inability to be a father and your inability to be in that home. And I'm not saying that the women aren't at fault for allowing this behavior and being a part of the brokenness. They're at fault as well. It's just the men who seem to have a big issue with it. This whole, red pill society of men, this whole men who are competing with women who do operate from a very feminine emotional standpoint because the only person they had in the household was their mother. And so they learned how to operate emotionally from a woman. There was no man in there to say, look, this is how men feel, this is how men deal, and this is how a man heals. There's none of that. So they grow up and they have an identity crisis. And the only person they learn in that household to compete with is their mama. Because who else is in the household to compete with? By the time they got on the football field or the basketball court, their learned behavior was already concrete in who they were. So now they don't know how to emotionally regulate themselves. They're sassy. They're not only strongly opinionated, but they have a problem if you can't buy into what they're saying. They need to make sure that you heard what they said because they can care less about what you're saying. And if things don't go their way, they're throwing a temper tantrum. And I'm not saying that is, when I say feminine, I don't mean that women only act like that, right? What I'm saying is that is a feminine emotion that a man who learns to regulate himself with testosterone in his body understands you cannot be overly emotional with testosterone. That's how you end up in prison. That's why we have a lot of black men incarcerated, because had he regulated his emotion, his 3-part house, he wouldn't have created a behavior that got his ass in prison. So your inability to regulate your emotions, which is your appetite, your sexual appetite, right? Your lack of discipline, which is mean put a rubber on. And if for those who say, responsible sex, a rubber could bust, well, guess what? You knew that a rubber could bust.
Right.
We know that. So when you went to penetrate this woman who was not your wife, who you cared nothing about, who you do not want to procreate with, you also understand you run the risk of having a child with her. So you knew that when that happens, what are you going to do? And I'm not saying you have to be in the house with her to be a great father. But half y'all not in the house are coming to the home or bringing that child to yours because you don't have a house or a pot to piss in to provide for this child, nor are you socioeconomically stable to even have a child. You can't take care of yourself. So why are you penetrating? Listen, if you can't govern yourself and all your dick can offer somebody is a child or a broken home, you need to keep it in your pants.
Absolutely.
That's what they get mad about. And I'm going to keep saying it. So keep getting upset because until you make a different decision, then that means I have an assignment to deliver. And you can take it or not, but I'm a cook and serve it. Whether you decide to eat it, that's on you.
I know that's right. The saddest part is they do it multiple times. They do it multiple times with different women. Like, why do you keep doing this?
Dysfunctional pathology. That is the mindset. See, they're in a wilderness. And when they're in that woman's body, for that 10 seconds, they think they're in a promised land. This is how sick and lost people are. To you, sex is a promised land because you get a quick little 2, 3, 4 minutes of satisfaction. And half these women aren't even in bed casually for an orgasm. They're in it because they're codependent on needing that man to validate them. And the only validation, the only attention, the only love and care that they get is in them 10 minutes, if he even lasts that long, of that man penetrating her body. That is sad. So, yeah, I'm going to stay on the mountaintop and I'm going to pop my shit about my community because that is not okay. And until we get our women to understand you're not the crumb, you're the loaf, and that doesn't mean you're better than this man. That means you love yourself. And you are more than a casual sex. You are more than a casual baby mama. And if you have already been that, the crumbs, healing could make you the loaf. At any, I always say, the moment, listen, it's never too late. The moment you wake up as a woman and you say, this is the last day he gonna abuse me. This is the last day he gonna use me. The last day he's gonna cheat on me. The last day I'm not gonna love myself is the day you start creating boundaries. Is the day you draw you a square and you stand on it. Change the locks, get a new lock or whatever. Go broken, go confused. Baby, you just gotta go. You just gotta go. You don't have to know where you're going. You just have to know I want to get up out of here.
Yes. So, ladies, we got to heal so you can be the loaf.
Come on. So you can be the loaf.
Now, what is the message that most women is difficult for them to receive?
Is, when I speak about women having the inability to nest and that there are good men. There are men who know how to lead. There are men who are family men, who are great husbands. There's Boazes out there everywhere. When I say there's Boazes out there everywhere and that I find more men who want to be married than I find women get pissed off about it. But studies even show that black men, to be specific, are marrying at 26% more than we are. 26%. And marrying, that doesn't mean that they are out here the ones being proposed to, because wait, usually men are doing the choosing. They're doing the proposing. That means that these men are actively saying, will you marry me?
Yeah.
I want to marry you. I want to be a family man. And so, women tend to have an uproar. Usually women are on my side because they know I advocate for our whole community, but I'm definitely a girl's girl. But that's the part where they're like, Doc, well, where are they at? Doc, where are these good men at? Doc, no, there's no way that there's more men who are ready to get married than we are. Ready doesn't mean that you want to be married. That's a desire. Ready means that you are prepared to carry the weight, the cross, the good and the bad of being a wife. See, I took my time because being a wife and being married, the real way, on principles, it is a much heavier load than these women care to say, or these women understand that it is. And this is why our divorce rate is high. This is why infidelity is an all-time high. And this is why, again, a lot of women, when you find a man, are you able to nest in him? Because a man who knows how to lead has vision. A man with vision don't need your validation. And a lot of women, if we aren't with a man who we got to validate, we feel not included in the vision. But he don't need you to lead you. He needs you to be his rib. The rib is tucked in to protect his organs. You protect organs is what gives him life. We not only give y'all life, we protect your life as your rib.
Protect your life.
And we birth you.
That's right.
We do all that.
We do all that. We do
Your
it
life.
all.
Yeah.
We are everything.
So, but women need to ask themselves, before they say, I'm ready to be a wife, can I nest in a man who can lead? Can I say, baby, I chose you, so I trust you? Can I be in the passenger side with my feet up and the chair leaned back, sleep the entire time this man is driving? And do I have to constantly say, how fast, how slow, make a left, where are we going, what time? Shut up. I'm a woman and I'm saying, girl, if you can't lay back, then that's the wrong man.
That's the wrong man.
Choose somebody else, because let me tell you, I don't want to think when I am with
a
man. You ain't even got to be my man.
I can feel
Listen,
you on
when
that.
I am traveling with my team and I have a female and a male assistant, I have cousins who come and they security and bodyguard for me. I was just in Cleveland for the draft, working the draft with my Steeler family because I provide my expertise to the NFL teams, the Steelers and the Browns. I was out there with all my team of all men. Let me tell you, I didn't think one time. I'm not thinking with the man. It's not even romantically. I'm a woman. I'm going to nest in you if you have any testosterone or you have a male chromosome. I'm not thinking. I didn't think.
So now they're making this a whole new concept, the soft life. They're calling it soft life.
Mhm,
No,
mhm.
that's not new to me. It's
come
something.
on,
It's a
come on,
requirement for me.
sis, you gonna make me walk off this
I don't
interview.
want to think when I'm with my man. I want you to treat me like I'm a little baby.
And it's not
I know
the
nothing.
soft life. It is the normal life.
Mhm, the normal
That is the
life.
normalcy.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be when you are in the presence of men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about men, dogs in the big dog park, not the little one. Again, cousins who are males. I was walking around. We went to go see Young Jeezy and a Boosie concert while I was out in Pittsburgh working the draft. And I was going backstage and on stage with Boosie. We were his guests. So I'm walking around, and my cousin who does security, he walks to me. He's like, "Stop walking away from me so fast."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say nest, there was no lip. This man is protecting me.
Yes.
He said, "I'm your protector. Stop leaving my side so fast." I could have said, "Well, keep up. You the security guard." No.
No.
You know what I did? I said, "Okay.
Slow down.
Okay." And I poked his face to be playful. We went out after to an after event that Boosie and them had. He was performing again. And we were blocked in with the car. And one of the guys was kind of being an a-hole about moving it. So I got out the car. Hello, black woman. Hello, dominant woman. Hello, us. Muscle. Because I'm muscle. I got out the car. My cousin and my assistant, all men, were trying to get everyone organized to move the car so we can get out. Well, it's 2 a.m. I'm tired. I got a flight to catch. I'm trying to get to y'all in Dallas. I got out the car and I told the guy, I said, "Yo, excuse me, move your fucking car." And my cousin looks at me. He goes, "Shy, get in the car." The first thing I thought was, I don't want to ever put any of their lives at risk.
Right. Right.
They're already outside trying to handle it. They are handling it. It's just not moving fast enough for me. I can say 2 more things to this big old black dude, and I can turn this entire thing that's
Into
moving
something
smoothly.
that it shouldn't be. Yes. You can.
And my men could lose their life, end up in jail, because they may take a life, because, they're going to go for me. And it'd be all because of me trying to be the wrong muscle.
Yep.
I got in the car, and I shut the door.
I know.
5 minutes
that's
later,
right.
everything was moved. We were on our way. And I went further as we were driving, and I said, "Babe," because I guess my cousin said, "Baby," I said, "Thank you for always protecting me." He said, "I got you." And I said, "And I will always listen to you." I said, "I heard you. You gave me that look. You said, 'Shy, get in the car.'" I said, "Okay." And that's what I mean. Women, you shouldn't be in the presence of any man, not only romantically, friendship-wise, associate, anything.
Absolutely.
If these are not men that you can listen to, because the number one thing that I hear my men clients, my male groups, from NFL to married men to single men to my team of men, the number one issue they have is when a woman's not listening. It throws off his plan, it throws off his vision, and it throws off his timing. And you even throw him off of his masculine.
Yep.
Because he
Absolutely.
has to become a little more, men hate, when I use this word, I'm going to say it, a little more softer if he's going to respect you in the tone that he's talking to you. When my cousin said, "Shy, get in the car," it wasn't in a masculine, aggressive way. So he had to tune himself to a different dial to make sure he showed love and respect to me when he was
Right.
guiding me.
Right.
But while he was out there, he was puffed up, chest out, and ready for whatever came to protect me. If someone's willing to put their life on the line, you should be willing to shut your mouth and listen.
Absolutely.
And that's how you
Absolutely.
have partnership.
I
That's how
agree
you have
with that.
partnership.
Listen, I will shut up in a minute when you're leading the right way.
Honey, I will shut up if you can shut me up.
You can shut me up.
And then I like to be
it's a
shut
perfect
up.
example. As a perfect example, a friend of mine I was visiting in Florida. She's dating someone, and I had to get on board real quick because he's a manly man, where I couldn't touch the doors. I couldn't do anything. He and I learned very quickly. He was like, He wouldn't even park. He dropped my friend off at a party, and he offered to take me somewhere. And he was driving around looking for a park. I'm like, "There's a park." He said, "There's a puddle on the side where you would have to get out. I'm not parking there." Like, so yes, I totally get it. Any man in your life or around you needs to treat you as such.
And when they are, be receptive.
Be receptive.
Nest in that. Don't resist. Don't push back. Don't let your trauma respond for you. Don't let your trauma be in fear.
And I don't understand that. Why are women so fearful of giving that up, or saying, "I can do it myself"? Why do you want to do it
You
by
know,
yourself.
I don't know
wanna
because
do it by
I am
myself.
not
her.
independent. I'm interdependent, and I am only this independent when I'm single.
Curse that independent
all.
woman movement. I hated that whole
Yeah,
movement.
yeah, we're gonna get that. We're gonna rebuke that.
I'm rebuking
Even for the
it.
ones who think they
I
are,
don't
we're gonna
wanna be
cover you,
independent.
sis, with a man who's gonna love you and let you know that you can nest, trust, and depend on him.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Now you have these conversations across the country. You still doing the tonight's conversations, correct?
I've been on tour with Tonight's Conversation for 2.5 years.
Yes, yes. I
I've been
love
on
when
a
those
national
come up.
speaking tour.
The segment or the bits and pieces come up in my news feed on Facebook. You do an amazing job.
Thank you.
And much success with this next book. #1 best-selling author of Mental Detox. The new book is called Live Your Promise.
Yes.
And where can we get it?
You can get Live Your Promise on all book platforms where books and audiobooks are sold. The audiobook is in my voice, your favorite doc. I'm reading it to you. And so you get my tone, you get my tune, you get my spiciness, and you get my nurturing and the love that comes through me speaking it to you. And you can get it in print form. Or you can get both.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy it as a gift.
So what is your
Amazon,
hope?
Barnes & Noble, it's on Audible as well.
What is your hope that the message that we get from the book?
I hope that it does two things, that it shows people exactly where they are, because we have a lot of lost folks who don't have clarity, and God's not a God of confusion. So I hope that the God that they experience in my book is his clarity, which then gives you God's peace. And I hope that they learn how to curate their promised land. All of our promised lands look different. And it is definitely something we create, but we have to know what we need and knowledge of thyself. Otherwise, we don't know how to create this life. A lot of folks, again, don't have knowledge of themselves. They know what codependently or externally stimuli they need to feel good in those moments, but they don't really know how to have peace and contentment. Those are things that come within yourself. That has nothing to do with an external stimuli, nothing to do with who you're in a relationship with, your career, your title, your job, none of that. That is a you thing. That means if everything that has to do with performance was stripped, that you can still be enjoying being content. You can still be in God's peace. That is what I hope that this book gives, because I have obtained that, and every tool that I've used to obtain where I'm at, my contentment, my God's peace, is in this book. So this is not a book that I just created because I don't read and research. No, these are the tools I have applied in my life, from going from the hood to the hills, from being a girl who was abandoned, neglected with a lot of trauma. Okay, I was toxic. And I was trauma projecting, I was trauma bonding, and it was hard for everybody else because I was a tough cookie in my trauma. And I was able to take a lot of principles, all the principles in my book, Live Your Promise, and get to a place of God's peace. I say I took my broken pieces and found God's peace. And that's what I hope for everybody who's listening or who reads the book.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. You are always welcome.
You.
It is always a pleasure. And enjoy the rest of your time in Dallas.
I will.
Make sure you guys get the book, because I'm sure we all at a point in our lives where we can use some transformation and some healing.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank
you for
you.
having me, and thank you for having your healthy Wednesdays.
Yes,
We need that. Everybody
yes,
needs that. I think
yes.
that mental health should be a human right. And people like you are giving people a dosage, and all it takes is a mustard seed.
Yes.
You don't know whose life you're changing
Yes.
with what you're
Yes.
doing. So thank you.
Thank
I appreciate you.